All right. So I'm going to be doing a couple of things tonight. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start us out with a PowerPoint presentation. And I didn't really get, I did this real quick from some of the other trainings that I used to do before with another company I was in. So if you guys will just, hopefully it will make sense to all of us. Let me get this thing going here. All right. So what we're going to be talking tonight a little bit about is the business of building your Saba business. And, you know, for most of us, we got started because we liked the product, you know, we wanted to lose weight. And then, of course, it just became a natural, you know, we just had people asking us about the product, and that's just the way most of us all got started with this. Some people definitely want to know about the business up front. I know I've had a couple of people that called me and said, oh my goodness, these people didn't even ask to try the product. They just want to do the business. And that's because network marketing is such a huge, or direct selling, it's such a huge business. I mean, we buy makeup, we buy lawn products, we buy you know, kitchenware, all of that from direct sales companies, because they happen to make some of the best products. So, you know, so a lot of times people know, my goodness, if you're getting these great results, I know you and trust you, then I just want to know more about this business because I think it's going to work. So let's see here. You know, first thing I want to do is congratulate you, because you have an opportunity ahead of you that can absolutely change your life, health, body, and bank account. Now, we don't talk a lot about the bank account. We mostly talk about the product and how well it's working for us and how we can help other people. But if you did choose this for a business, more than likely it's because you want some extra income, or maybe you need to have some extra income. I think we all need extra income. You know, but you have to realize here, it can change your life. It's not going to just automatically change your life because you started taking the product, or it's not going to automatically change your life because you decided to sign up as an associate. You know, we've got people that signed up as an associate and then never did anything else. You know, so will it change your life? Honestly, it's up to you. The best part about this is even though you're in business for yourself, you're definitely not by yourself. And you've already taken the first step for your success. We call ourselves Team Favor. And I would like to think that we have a phenomenal support system. You know, but you have to be proactive and get plugged in. You know, the socket, if you'll notice in your home, the electrical outlets don't come running to you and say, oh, hey, wait a minute, you know, you've got something that needs to be plugged in. Here, let me come to you. No, we have to go to the electrical outlet. Sometimes we have to have an extension cord, and we have to have, you know, all these, you know, lengthy gadgets to get plugged in. And what that means is, you know, the electricity is there, but we've got to plug into it. We're not going to just automatically light up. Our Christmas tree doesn't light up, you know, when we put all the lights and decorations on it. It doesn't just light up by itself. Hey, we put all the work, you know, we put all the lights on there, we decorated it, and, you know, what's going on here? It's not lit up. Light it and plug it in. And that's the same thing with our team. You know, I have a lot of people every day that say, hey, I signed up, you know, I want you to tell me what to do, or else they'll sign up and then they say, well, you know, nobody told me what to do. I didn't get any help. There was no support. Well, you know, the support comes from our team page. We try to duplicate, we try to replicate, we try to record and have everything there so that you can watch it over and over and over again. Because what happens is I might do a training on just getting started, and then 3 weeks or 6 weeks or 3 months down the road, now I'm talking about, you know, what do you do in your business when you've been in for 3 months? Well, you just got started, so you don't really need to hear that, or you could listen to it, but that's not really where you're at. So you've got to go to the training and, you know, and on our website or on our video YouTube channel and start watching the What Do I Do When I Get Started videos. Because, you know, now we're at what to do when you've been in for 6 months. So it's really important that you are proactive. It can change your life, but will it? It's up to you. But we do have a great support system, and if at any time you, your team members, anyone feels like, oh my goodness, you know, nobody's helping me. What do I got to do to get some help around here? You know, you can always yell at us on the team page. We've got a lot of people that are available. That's really the best place to start, you know, exercising your vocal cords. And then the second place is, you know, to text us. If you're, you know, maybe the person that enrolled you isn't really up to speed yet and they don't know what to do, but you can text them and say, hey, who do I talk to? You know, who's my upline? Who can help me? And Connie Moss and myself and Vicki and Pam and Joyce and Star, and there's a lot of leaders. Tamara, I mean, if I start naming them, I'm going to forget somebody. You know what happens in church when we do that. So, you know, you definitely know that there is a support system. You already have everything that it takes to create a massive success, success. That was a tongue twister. You already have what it takes to create a massive success. Welcome to the team. Listen, what I want you to know is that you don't need 3 steps to a better, you know, business person and 5 steps to enroll somebody and 21 steps to this. You, honest to goodness, already have what it takes. And we're going to talk a little bit about how simple it is. You know, basically it's your voice and, you know, remember in the old days, the yellow pages, and I may really be dating myself here, but it used to say, let your fingers do the walking. Well, that was, you know, going through the yellow pages, now really wouldn't be the yellow pages, but it would be our phone directories and calling up some friends and letting them know what we're doing. And we're going to talk about that some more. Having the product, everybody wants more energy, or they want to lose 5 pounds or more, or they know someone that does. So really, if you have some people that you can call and you've already got the product, you have everything that it takes. Honest to goodness, that's all I had when I got started. So you already have. So now, you know, your question is, well, what do I do? And, of course, we have a video that says, you know, I got my kit. What do I do next? So we've answered this question several times, but we're going to go ahead and answer it again. Sometimes we have to answer it 2 or 3 or 4 different ways because people learn differently. But the number one thing that I want to talk to you about is getting clear on your goals and your why. You know, you hear about this all the time. What is your why? I used to hear this a friend of mine that used to train, and she would say, if your why doesn't make you cry, then it's not big enough. And, you know, honestly, maybe you don't have a why that's so big that it'll make you cry, but a lot of us have. You know, we are just coming out of this, you know, 7-year, you know, decline in the economy, and people's bank accounts were wiped out. Homes were lost. You know, businesses, jobs were lost. My husband and I, you know, had to deal with all of those things. You know, we had these businesses that were totally built around custom home building, and so, you know, we had this huge why. You know, we for our family and for our home and for our ministries, and, you know, we had to keep these things going, and you know, without income, you know, it was just hard to keep that train rolling. So really, you need to know your why. We've got moms who have children with disabilities who want to stay home and take care of their children, who need that income. They really don't need to get out of the home because they need to be in the home, and they don't want to go outside and have to work. They don't want to go do parties. They don't want to go do all these other things. They need to stay at home and take care of their children and their families. I have a friend with children with cerebral palsy, and actually she's got 3 children with cerebral palsy, and it just consumes her. She's in the hospital with her children all the time, and and so she has to have something that can be done online, or that can be done with a little bit less effort than some of these home businesses, and so there's all kinds of reasons. And what you need to know is, what is your why? And I have a form that you're going to see in a little bit, and I'm also going to upload it onto our team page, and it's something that we're going to go over, but I want you to give your upline, your enroller, a copy, and keep one for yourself. This is going to help get you clear on your why. And it's so important to have this, because you might not have a real push for a business if you don't know your why. It's so crucial to any single goal that we have in our life. When you get crystal clear on why are you doing this, you just don't have any umph to you when someone says, well, I want you to go do such and such. Oh, well, okay, I'll go do it. I don't really care to go do it. I don't know why we're doing it. But if they told you, listen, this is going to help, someone's going to donate $100,000 to our church or our organization or whatever, if we go do this. Wow, okay, I'll go do this right now. If they told me, hey, listen, if you'll make, calls for an hour every night, then you're gonna receive a XYZ check. Well, then I kind of have a goal. I know what I want to do and why I want to do it. And it's not all about money. I'm not trying to make everything about money, because it really isn't. We really want to help people, and we want to get some results for ourselves and for our friends and our family. But when we're doing a business, we're doing it, because we want to also get paid. So the why can help support you with reaching your goal. The second thing is we need to get commission qualified. You've got to log into your back office and make sure your auto ship is a minimum of $50 in nutritional products. That's consumable products. So if it's brochures or things like that, they don't count towards that 50, but you can add them to it. But you've got to make sure that you have a minimum of $50. I saw people with $35 and $40 auto ships, and it meant that any commissions banked were going to be deleted, they were going to be wiped out, and they weren't going to be banked up for them. And so we want to make sure that we're keeping a minimum of $50 in nutritional products. And then if you want to be fully or maximize your auto ship, or your commission rather, then you need to set it to $100 in nutritional or consumable products. That does include the shampoo and things like that. Anything that can be consumed, used up in a month's time or whatever is, and that's actually a legal ramification. This isn't a Saba thing. This is something that for a network marketing company to commission qualify their people, it has to be consumable products. So anyway, so that's why that's set up like that. And also we want to make sure that you set up your website. And this is in the account profile section in your back office. And it already says sabaforlife.com/your ID number. But if you want to change that, then you can change it to your name or whatever you want to change it to. And then you want to set up your automatic deposit, your direct deposit, and then keep your enroller and sponsor clear on your login and password. So if you decide to change it, you want to make sure that you let the person who's helping you, support you in your business, make sure that they know that your login and your password, because they need to be able to go in and look at what your pay leg is and all that, so they can really help you out there. All right, so I'm just kind of going over some basics here. You want to plug into trainings. You're excited right now. Maybe you're even a little nervous because you've never done a business before. You've never had a home-based business, and you don't know, am I going right, left, up, down, what am I doing? But you want to keep that excitement going by plugging into the weekly calls and live trainings. And there's meet and greets in your area. And when I say in your area, I don't mean 10 or 15 minutes away. I actually mean 30 minutes away or 45 minutes away or even an hour away, because it's worth it. You may not always get a meet and greet in your neighborhood, and so you want to be sure that if there's one anywhere within, in my opinion, I'll tell you right now, even though Connie Moss and I live in the same town nearly, we're about 15 minutes apart. When I joined, there were not any meet and greets here. I drove to Houston for them. And Houston, it was 5 hours. And I did that, once a month or whenever it was there. And I drove to Shreveport, which I think is 3 hours. And I drove to, just everywhere. Wherever there was one, I was driving because I wanted to know everything. I wanted to see everything. I wanted to meet people. I wanted to attend these live trainings. I wanted to do whatever I could. And so, if here's the thing, that was reminded when I was listening to that six-figure training call that Joyce shared with us the other day. Actually, this woman brought up some training that we used to do a couple of years ago, and she talks about your business and, treating it like a business. And what happens is a lot of times, we don't take these things real serious. It's like, I might make a little bit of money. I might not. I might make $100. I might not. I want to make 500 or I want to make 1,000, but, I might not. And so what happens is we're kind of training ourselves with our own language. And here's the deal, guys. If we treat our business like a hobby, guess what? It's going to pay us like a hobby. But if we treat it like a business, and, just think about this. What if one of the big corporations hired you to come be their CEO or their CFO or something, and you came in and you were like, whatever. I'll talk to somebody maybe today, maybe not. Just kind of play it by ear. If somebody asks me about it, then I'll tell them. If somebody else brings it up, I might tell them. Well, that's not a real business mindset. And I don't know if that person would keep that job very long because, we've listened about being secret agents, and being secret agents might work well in the FBI or the CIA, but it doesn't work well in the SABA. So we want to make sure that we are all, on target. We're doing things on purpose. Every day when we get up and you're praying about, your family and, your business and your churches and your ministries and, whatever else is going on. And you need to pray about your Saba business. Lord, lead me to people today that need me, that need this business or that need this product, because their health is failing. Maybe the doctor just told them, if you've got to lose this weight or you're going to take diabetes medicine or high blood pressure medicine or cholesterol medicine or, worse, their heart might be in, really bad shape because they're overweight and all that belly fat and everything that's going on in America. And so, Lord, lead me and guide me to those people. Father, give them a sensitive ear so that when I'm out and about and they ask me what I'm doing and I say, I help people get healthy, or, I help women, if you're a woman or a man, I help people, work their home-based businesses, whatever it is that you say, which we've got some training we're going to be doing actually with some scripts on that later on. This is going to be about a 6-part training, and this is obviously just part 1 today. But anyway, you've got to be ready and you've got to be on purpose. That means every day when you go out, you have a purpose of what you're going to do. How many people am I going to talk to today? And goodness gracious, don't take no personal. So you have success, guys, if you use these tools and take action. your team will grow. You will be more confident in your goals, and you will be unstoppable. So, when I say presentation, number 4, I want you to schedule your first presentation. Guys, this can be on the phone. This can be in person. It doesn't matter. You can invite some girls over on Saturday morning or Friday night, girls' night out, and do this right away. If you haven't done it yet, go ahead and do it. If you just signed up, try to do it right away. But you want to teach your team, let's start making this something that we give them a goal of doing this within 48 hours of enrolling. We want to have them schedule their first, maybe it's a call-a-thon where they call 10 people and, tell them, hey, I just started taking this product and oh my goodness, I feel so good. I've got energy. I've lost 5 pounds and I want to see, I want to share it with you. We've got this great $20 trial kit. I want to, see if you'd like to come by and pick it up, or if you want me to deliver it to you, or if you want me to put it in the mail to you, whatever. So your upline will help you. Don't forget also about vendor events. This is fall. Right now, there's probably vendor events on every corner in every city within a 100-mile radius of you, and that would be a great time to start getting some of the product out, getting some names down. I always do drawings at my vendor events, so I get lots and lots and lots of names, and I give away a little bit of product. So we want you to schedule your first presentation, and that means that you want to be on the phone. A little bit, I always, get ahead of myself and I rabbit trail, but, I'm trying to stay on task here. That's why I make my little notes. But one of the things that you really need to decide is, how many hours a week do I want to work my business? Do I want to work at 5 hours a week? Maybe you work a full-time job and you've only got 5 or 10 hours, a week. Sunday nights, if you guys don't have church, I know ours is a little different, and so we have small groups all week long, so we don't have a Sunday night service. And if you don't have a Sunday night service, that's a really good time to call people, because they're usually not out. They're just kind of winding down at home. Tomorrow's, Monday and school day and all that. So they're usually home, and it's a good time, between 7 and 8 to call people. That's a fantastic time to sit down and say, listen, I'm going to make phone calls. And this isn't when you're going to go, chatty Cathy on people, okay? You really need to get, have a real good little script down of, hey, listen, I only have a minute, and I just wanted to tell you real quick about something that's, really helping me lose weight and gain energy, and I just want to tell you real quick about it. Give them the website or, something, let them see what it is, ask them if they want to do the kit, or if they want to know more information about it, talk to them later. But your goal in that hour is to try to call 20 people, 30 people, whatever you can, get done in that hour. So anyway, that's something, if you're going to be able to put 10 hours, now maybe if you're a stay-at-home mom and you can put 30 hours, or stay-at-home dad, or maybe whatever your schedule is, you want to put about 15 hours into real business building work. So, we're going to have a list of that kind of stuff a little bit later too. All right. Let's see. So I can move right along. There is some self-work that I want you guys to do. And I would love it if you guys would put these reasons on our team page. On our Lee Allen Saba team page. If you would, and if it's personal, I understand you don't have to blast that out there, but write down 5 reasons why this business has to work for you. I'm at my wit's end. I've got a girlfriend that just called me. She lost her job. This has to work for her. She's just struggling, and she needs some income. I have another girlfriend who was laid off from telecom, and this has got to work for her. She's got to make some income. And then, why are you perfect to make it work? I like to talk to people. I don't like to talk to people. I've lost weight. I haven't lost weight yet, but my friends lost weight. Why are you perfect to make this work? We're all not going to have the same answers. There's no one right answer, but why are you perfect to make this business work for you? And then what are 3 things you really need to learn to make it work? You know, what do you feel like you need to know to make this work? You need to know more information about the product, or how to approach people, or, you know, how to make your sample packs. What is it that you really need to learn to make it work? And then this is real important, because this happens to be an issue with a lot of people. And that is the tongue in your mouth and the tongue in your shoe going in 2 different directions? Think about that just for a little bit. So am I saying, I'm going to work this business, I'm going to make money, I'm going to do this, and then I don't get up and put in any time to it? So I'm saying I want it to pay me like a business, but I'm doing the work for it to pay me like a hobby. You know, this happens due to the unconscious conversation and dialogue that goes on in our head. You know, we will tell ourselves, you know, we want something to work, and then we might feel like, well, I don't have the right tools, or, you know, I don't have anyone that can do this with me, or, well, my upline hasn't really, you know, told me what to do, you know, or, you know, I've tried this kind of stuff before and it never really worked. You know, there's all kinds of conversation that goes on in our head that will dictate what we actually do instead of, you know, what we want to do. Because, you know, all of us have said, I'm going to do X, Y, Z, and then we don't get it done. So also, we were going to talk a little bit. This is something that we're going to go into in depth later on as well, and it's your money blueprint. And I don't know if you've ever heard this before, but a lot of times, you know, the way we were raised, maybe it's our environment, maybe even we were taught in church, you know, that the wealth is laid up for the wicked, or money is the root of all evil. You know, I mean, those are things that sometimes we hear that kind of stuff, and it just gets embedded in us, and we don't realize that we are telling ourselves, you know, maybe we're saying that, you know, I'm a woman, and you know, the men are supposed to make all the money, and I can't really make too much money, or, you know, or, you know, maybe we're taught that you know, God's going to supply our needs, and we get that confused with, you know, maybe the kind of money that we need to, you know, make to support the kingdom of God and to support our families. You know, God's the one that chose to allow money to, you know, to take care of, you know, the finances of the church and everything. So, you know, we got to really just think about that. Think about what do you think about money? You know, do you think it's evil? Do you think, you know, that it's the, you know, sinners and bad people who are always wealthy, and, you know, we're not supposed to be wealthy? There's a lot of people that really, you know, believe that, and you got to really find out what you think about money. Anyway, like I said, we've got some things that we're going to talk about that a little bit later on too. All right, I just wanted to throw that out at you because I want you kind of thinking about that, because a lot of times that sabotages our success in business. All right, okay. And all right, so this is the paper or the page that I'm going to put into our team page, and this is something that we'd really like for you to complete, and then give this to your upline, give it to your enroller, and whoever else you know, helps you with your business. Somebody that can be your accountability partner. That's always good. You can find someone on the team. It doesn't necessarily have to be someone you already know. It doesn't have to be someone in the business in your town. It can be someone on the team. You know, we want to know why you're doing this business. And, you know, on this time commitment, don't be afraid to stretch yourself out here. If you think, I'd love to say 20, but I think I can only do 10. But if you want to get to 10 or 20, let's circle 20, because we're going to help you find that time in your week to get to 20. And, you know, what days can you commit? This is really easy because if you know I have church on Wednesday, I have choir practice on Thursday, and I have church just all day on Sunday. Well, we have our team call on Monday. Well, maybe you can work during the day on Monday, or you know that, you know, you can work Tuesdays and Fridays and Saturdays, whatever. So anyway, how many days can you commit? I know it says a minimum of 5. But we're going to be a little lenient here. This is from my other training that I used to do. So we'll be a little lenient on you guys here. And then have your income goals. Oopsie daisy. That's not going to let me page down, guys. So have your income goals in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days. It's okay. How many people would you like to have on the weight loss program? How many people would you like to have as associates? You know, what rank would you like to be? Go ahead and let's make those goals, because we won't know how to get you there if we don't know where you want to go. It's like a map. All right. So your why plus inspired action plus support equals magical success. Now, it's not magic, but it's just kind of magical. So we're going to have you write a letter in the present tense, and that's actually going to replay your life 1 year from now. So say 1 year from today, you were writing a letter, and you could say, I am so proud that I have achieved the rank of, you know, silver director, and I've been able to take my family to Disney World, and include your accomplishments, people's lives who've been changed. My best friend lost 50 pounds and was able to get off her diabetes medicine, you know, all that kind of stuff. Write that letter as if you are writing it 1 year from now, and these are kind of going to be your goals. This will be a fun little letter to write, and so I'd like to have you guys write that too and give that to your enroller. And if any of you want to share any of this on our team page, I think it would be a great support to the others on the page. So if you want to share, that would be wonderful. All right. I'm going to go ahead and pause this right here. Let's see if I can get out of here. All right, amen. I see an amen to that. I don't know what that was for, Joyce, but thank you so much. All right, if anyone has any questions, I don't know if you guys are on the page. I can open it up, but if you have any noise background, if you can mute your phone or go to a quiet place, I'm going to unmute everyone and then see if anybody has any questions really quick here. All right, so all the mics are open, and if you guys have any questions, feel free to ask now.
Lee?
Yes, ma'am.
Hi, how you doing? It's Star.
Hi, Star. How are you?
I'm doing wonderful. I just wanted to just thank you so much for, you know, the training. It's always awesome. And you're a master trainer. And I just, I totally agree with everything that you said this evening, you know, just about being consistent. You know, I think sometimes we just lose that consistency, and then we forget that this is a business. And so, you know, those deposits are real. And, you know, I really have enjoyed the Saba business so far, and it's been great for me and my family. But I just wanted to thank you for just reiterating that and just letting us know that it's just to really, really treat it like a business. You know, I've always been trained that you're either going to increase your income or decrease your lifestyle. And you know, we have these dreams and these goals and these aspirations, and sometimes when life hits us in the face, we think we have to decrease our lifestyle, or we have to shrink back, but really God has given us a business where we can increase our income. And so just thank you so much for sharing. And, I just got to get back and be more consistent, even if it's the one thing that when I started, I was just putting the Facebook messages out and copying Vicky's post and your post and just putting them out. And just that one consistent thing that I was doing, over the first couple of months, I was able to make over $1,000 from this business, and that was just from posting on Facebook. And so I'm going to go back to that thing that I was doing, and then we're getting ready to have our first meet and greet down here in Florida, so I'm excited about that. But I just wanted to thank you, and thank you for sharing, and say hello to everybody, and just thank you so much.
Yes, that's awesome. I'm so excited. And Star, are you in Orlando? Where are you at?
I'm right outside of Jacksonville, Florida, in Orange Park, so it's like right outside of Jacksonville.
Okay, Jacksonville. So, guys, if you know anybody in Jacksonville, Florida, they're going to be doing a meet and greet. And I really need you guys to post those, if you have posters or if you've made any kind of informational bulletin, to post it to our team page, so if anybody else is in the area, we can get them there.
Oh, that'd be great. I'm trying to finalize the location now. That's what I'm working on. Now I got a couple of hotels that are going to call me back. So as soon as I get that, the hotels, then I'm going to, we can post the location.
Oh, wonderful. What's the date for yours?
October the 14th.
Okay, that's right. All right.
Mm-hmm.
All right. And then, Joyce, you guys have one too, correct?
Can you hear me?
Uh-oh, there's Okay, Joyce, I had to mute your computer line because it was feeding back really loud. In just a minute, we'll get you back on and let you say when your call or when your meet and greet is. And Tracy, are you still on the line?
Yes.
Hey, Tracy.
Hey.
You guys are going to have a meet and greet as well, right?
Yes, I believe it's the 13th of October.
Okay. And where's your meet and greet located?
It's going to be at my church in Bradenton, Florida, at River Life Church of God.
Okay, Bradenton. Okay, fantastic. All right, so same thing. If you guys get your bulletins and stuff, let's get those on our team page. We'll also want to put them on Connie Moss's team page so that we can, make sure that we can get as many guests invited out there. You guys can build a great network. So that's exciting. I'm so happy for you all. Yay! All right. And I'm sorry I kind of cut you off, Star. Did you have anything else you wanted to say? You did such a great job there. I enjoyed listening to you.
No, I don't have anything else I want to say. I just appreciate you, and just thank you for your leadership. It's all about being, just staying plugged in, and and just remembering that we have to take responsibility for our own success. I think that's the key. And you just really hit everything on the head tonight. Just we have to do something. Nothing's going to come for nothing, so we have to do something.
Right.
So so I just appreciate you, and just thank you so much.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. You guys are awesome. All right. Anybody else? Joyce, I tried to unmute you again, but there was a lot of feedback on your computer line. So I don't know if you have a phone. I don't know if you have a phone line as well. All right. Anybody else have anything? Any questions? All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and end for tonight. Thank you guys so much for being on the call. I hope you guys will share these trainings with your team. That's going to be important, to not just be on it ourselves, but to also get our team on. And I will have this recording posted in just a little while along with our why. Also, make sure you guys are going back and listening to that Six-Figure Success we just posted. That is phenomenal. It's over an hour long. So you might want to just put it on when you're sitting at your computer working or whatever. But it is really, really good. And I'm going to look at some more of her training. And then also we've got Mark J's training. Those are still on there. Make sure you're listening to those. They are incredible. I'm getting, text messages and phone calls from people who said, oh, my word, I'm putting this into action and I'm getting immediate results. So make sure you guys are using that, utilizing those tools. Remember, it's, we can give you the tools, but we can't make you use them. All right, love you all. Good night. God bless you.